Hello and welcome to Jazz Guitar Chord Melody, Part 63. Hi, I'm Mike Hayes, and in this session we'll be looking at ways of playing the dominant 7th suspended 4th chord, the dominant 7th suspended 4th flat 9, and a whole lot of other chords. But we won't be using conventional chord shapes. We'll be using what I call harmonic overlays, or mixing colours. That's where the band plays one chord and the guitar player overlays that chord with another chord. We're superimposing one chord over another, in the same way that you can mix colours if you were painting. You could mix yellow and blue to produce the colour green. Okay, let's get started. On the screen at the moment you'll see a chart with 3 columns. And this will be like our colour chart, only we'll be mixing colours in sound. It's like our recipe that we can revert back to and see how we can produce the same effect in different keys. In the left-hand column, labelled band, that's the chord the band is playing. In the middle column, we have guitar overlay, and that's the chord we'll be playing on guitar over the chord that the band's playing. And in the right-hand column, we have result, and that's the sound that the listener is hearing. So when the band plays their chord, in this case they're going to play D7, and when we play a C6 chord over that D7th background, the resultant sound is a D9 suspended 4th. So the rule for producing a dominant 7th suspended 4th chord using this overlay method is that we play a major 6th chord on the 7th. And how that works is the band is playing D7, the 7th note of the D7th chord is C, therefore we would play a C major 6th chord and the resultant sound would be D9 suspended 4th. Let's try a couple more examples for you. Let's say the band is playing C7, so the 7th note of a C dominant 7th chord is B flat. Therefore, if we played a B flat major 6th chord over the C7th background, the resultant sound would be C9 suspended 4th. Let's try one more example. Let's say the band is playing A7, so the 7th note of an A dominant 7th chord is G. Therefore, if we played a G major 6th chord over the A7th background, the resultant sound would be A9 suspended 4th. Okay, time to grab your guitar and let's try these ideas out. In this first example, the bass is playing a D7th riff throughout the whole exercise, while we play different inversions of the C major 6th chord. Here we go. Just before we move on to the second example, I'd like to take a couple of moments just to discuss what is happening when you're learning something new on the guitar. There's actually 4 different things at work. There's the oral side, which is how does the music sound. There's the theoretical side, which is like the concepts we were just discussing about playing a C major 6th over a dominant 7th chord and so on. There's the tactile aspect, which is how does the music feel. So we're creating a sensation of what this chord feels like when it's played against this particular background. So we're getting that brain-hand coordination, where in future instances where we hear a certain sound, our fingers will know where to go on the guitar to produce that sound. And of course, there's the visual aspect. What does the chord shape look like on the guitar? And what does it look like in printed music? And so on. With this next example, there's a subtle difference between the 2 chords when we're playing them. And depending on the inversion of the chord that we're playing at any given time, sometimes you really have to listen in closely to discern whether anything is actually happening or not. So that's where that feel aspect will come in. You'll actually sense that something is changing more than actually hearing it initially. What we're going to do in this next example is create a D9th sound by mixing colours. And the way we do that is play a minor 6th on the 5th of the chord. So the band is playing D7th, the 5th of D7th is A, therefore if we play an A minor 6th chord, the resultant sound to the listener will be D9. Here we go. In this next example, we're going to create a D7 suspended 4th with a flattened 9th. And this is a great chord. It creates a lot of tension. In this next example, we're going to play a D7 suspended 4th firstly, and then go to a D7 suspended 4th with the flattened 9th. Now this does create a lot of tension because in this particular example, we're not going to let it resolve. So we have this dominant 7th chord, which would normally go to either a G major 7th or a G 6th or a G minor or something like that. But we're actually holding that tension. And you'll hear this type of sound on lots of movies and that, where they want to create this unresolved tension. Okay, now how we're going to create that is by playing a minor 6th on the 7th. So the band's playing D7th, we're going to play C minor 6th. Remember that C is the 7th note of our D dominant 7th chord. So therefore we're going to play C minor 6th over the D7th background. Here goes. In this next exercise, you'll be pleased to know that we're going to resolve the tension. Essentially, the basic progression in this next exercise would be 2 bars of D7 and 2 bars of G. And what we're going to create is the sound of D7th suspended 4th going to D7th suspended 4th flat 9, then moving to a G major 9th chord, and then G major 7th. Now the way we're going to create the G major 9th sound is we're going to use one of our overlay principles, which is in this instance major 6th on the 5th. So the band is playing G in this particular instance, therefore we would play D6th over the G chord. And that's because we're going to play a major 6th on the 5th. And the 5th of G is D, therefore we would play D major 6th, and when we play D major 6th over the G background, the resultant sound is G major 9. Here goes. And here's one more example with the D7 suspended 4th moving to D7 suspended 4th flat 9, only this time resolving to a G minor chord. And I've included two different types of G minor here just to create some movement. The first chord is G minor with a sharpened 7th, resolving to G minor 6th. Here goes. Okay, that's it for this session, folks. I do hope you've got something out of it. Don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, to pop them in the comments section below this video. And as always, I look forward to catching up with you again next time. Bye for now.